This is Nigeria, a phrase we use to excuse the country's perpetual mediocrity. But is it time to take matters into our own hands and make a change?
More than 60% of the population is below the age of 30. A lot of them haven't been to school, and they are claiming, that Nigeria has been an oil-producing country. Therefore, they should sit and do nothing and get housing, healthcare, education free.
Is there any truth to this? If we want to make a better Nigeria, we have to make it ourselves. While many have lost hope, there is still some optimism out there.
I don't see how people in their right frame of minds will vote for the two political parties that have failed them consistently for 20 years.
People who have made your unemployment progressively higher every year. People who have made your poverty rate progressively higher every year. You're busy loving and worshiping your oppressors. Here's my message to the Nigerian youth, and I want to be very clear. The Nigerian youth can, in 2019, either fulfill the mission of their generation or betray it.
Nigeria was titled the world's poverty capital, meaning we have the most people living in extreme poverty, 86.9 million to be exact. As politicians get richer and poverty deepens in the rest of the country, how can things ever improve? As the elections approach, awareness that the power to make a change appears to be growing. Some people believe that the time has come to foundationally and fundamentally change the country. Others think otherwise.
Human being don't get the power to do anything again, as you see where the whole thing don't end so, won't reach so, nobody can do anything.
Needless to say, many questions and thoughts are floating around.
Questions like, what is the point in voting when the elections are rigged? Will Nigerians always suffer? And crucially, who are the best candidates?
Because while everyone is aware of the two frontrunners, Atiku and Buhari, they don't seem to know much about the other presidential contenders. My name is Kenim O, and I'm a filmmaker and documentarian. In this docuseries, I'm going to place the main presidential candidates under a spotlight, and I'll explore how elections are traditionally rigged. Will it be more or less the same this time, or will new initiatives like Watch the Polls help to contain the rigging process? We'll also speak to presidential contenders Muhammadu Buhari, Kingsley Moghalu, and Omoyele Sowore. It is important to note that this series is not sponsored by any of the political parties or candidates. I'm simply analyzing these candidates to help you make an independent decision for you. But first, in this episode, we're going to explore why the rich in Nigeria stay rich and the poor stay poor. So stay tuned, there's a lot coming up. It is no secret that Nigerians are suffering. We are ranked the world's poverty capital. Bad roads, bad infrastructure, limited electricity form the backdrop of our lives. It affects both the rich and the poor. But for the rich, it's easy to escape the discomfort with a holiday abroad, where Nigerians have no issue spending their money. To the effect that we are the third biggest spenders in the UK. In 2014, Nigerians averaged 331,440 naira per transaction. That is 628 pounds. Granted, this was before the 2016 recession, it still speaks to the mentality of the wealthy in Nigeria. According to an Oxfam article in 2017, the wealth of the 5 richest Nigerians could bring the whole country out of poverty. But is it the job of independent business people to solve poverty in this country when government officials have been caught stealing the country's money?
Corruption has really eaten deep into this country, and we need a leader or leaders who will sit down and think for the future of our generation.
There are many politicians in Nigeria with 50 homes and or more. Are you aware? There's a particular guy in Abuja. The driver was assigned to him was telling me this about him making sure he has the latest of each Mercedes-Benz, the latest of each Honda, the latest. He makes sure he keeps them, and he hardly drives them. He just keeps them like an archive. And then you ask, where did he get that money from to do that? You ask, what does he do? You don't need to go far. He's in the government, the federal government, or the state government. These guys do not know how difficult it is to earn money, so they don't know how to spend it.
If you are put in a position in office right now, let's say you are elected as president and you had access to all the money that's there, would you take it?
Why? What is there? I'll take it.
No, I won't. I won't steal it because not only my money, it's everybody's money. The country's money. I can't steal, which is not good.
It's quite tempting, but as a Christian, you have to remember your value. Like, whatever religion you are, you have to remember your value, because what will Jesus do?
I will take it. Not for me and my family, for the nation.
I will be paid my salary. So I'll depend on my salary, make sure that every other budgetary allocation goes to where it should go to.
Why are Nigerians corrupt? You tell me, because the people of the country are poor. Well, over and over we've seen people that are not poor still take bribe. This same set of people that tell you we want to kick out corruption from the country, we don't want corruption in the government. You ask the question, are they ready? Are they ready for this?
While Nigerian citizens aren't exempt from corrupt practices, it is no surprise many would say Nigeria's core problem begins with the government.
You now say I can't do this road. One person, guys, go stop you now, say no do it. So now government they do it.
If an independent, wealthy business person decides to fix up a bad road, it will only take a moment before government officials land on their doorstep, halting the process. In fact, as infrastructure is the job of the state, according to a few of my sources, these officials would require one to pay them a significant sum before they can build said road. But is there any truth to this? And if the government demands full autonomy, why are Nigerians going hungry? As Nigeria was once considered an oil-rich country, why do the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor? It is believed that there are few government laws favoring an even distribution of wealth. Where they do exist, these laws are barely enforced. For example, let's look at cheap labor. It is common practice for Nigerians to pay citizens far less than they pay expatriates. This goes back to the mentality where our people would rather spend our money abroad than in our country. Even after the 2016 recession, government officials still managed to live extravagantly. It is alleged that Ike Ekweremadu, the deputy Senate president, owns more than 60 homes in 4 countries, including Nigeria. It is no wonder those in high places are claiming the recession is over.
The economy has recovered from recession.
But this is not a reality for most Nigerians.
You have the wealthy and the less privileged living side by side, and it's a shame that there isn't much more being done to alleviate people from poverty.
I want your politicians, your leaders to see what you guys are going through in this country, how poor people are. And then the person told me, what are you showing them? They already know. They already know what you want to show them. I said, how do they know? Most of them don't even come here. He said, no, they live there. And the way he pointed it, I actually looked up and I saw a beautiful house just some meters away from the slum. These guys have become the local champion of their environment. Let me tell you how it happens. This guy gets all the boys around in the area, the young guys come to him. When they have a problem, they go and meet him. Look, my wife, we don't have money to eat tonight. Can you help us with something so we can eat? And then he said, okay, no problem. He gives them 500 naira. You know, there is a lady that even said he gave them 200 naira. You know, he gives them 500. And then another guy comes and then he gives them 200. He gives them 1,000. And then they keep going to meet him. So everybody in that community sees him as omnipotent. He feeds them. He helps them in when they have nothing. So what is wrong with us doing him the favor of giving him the vote back? Because this guy just fed our families when we had nothing.
I mean, we talk about handouts where you have government officials going to markets, giving out tokens. These are all good things to do, but they're not sustainable. And for any country to grow, you have to grow sustainably. You can't just, development has to be sustainable. You can't just give people handouts today and expect that that would be okay for them to sustain themselves or to continue to develop themselves. Development is not just about today, it's also about the future generations.
These people are so poor. And when a person is very poor, your brain, your mind tells you to worry about just three things: food, shelter, and security. Your brain shuts down every other processes and just focus you on how to get food. And when you are thinking on how to get food alone, you can never have the best ideas. So this perpetual circle of poverty that has remained escalating right now in Nigeria is self-inflicted by the Nigerian people, by the Nigerian government, who derives pleasure in continual subjugation of its own people.
As the presidential election inches closer, it is alleged that popular political parties bribe everyday citizens for their support. 1,000 naira here and there. This is an attempt to shower them with temporary glory, but in reality, it is like putting a band-aid plaster over a broken finger. Once you buy amala and gari, once you've eaten food today, what money will you have tomorrow?
We see ourselves as the giant of Africa. I don't think we are the giant of Africa because a lot of us are poor. The government needs to go to the grassroots and help. I mean, it's not helping giving them just food. I mean, you have to empower people, because when you empower a people, you're empowering a nation. So the government have to really, really pay attention to helping the less privileged and going down to the grassroots.
10,000 naira, 50,000 naira is not going to develop 2 or 3 generations from now. And any presidential candidate, I believe that should be the core of their agenda: sustainable development for Nigeria.
I took a drive to Jakande Estate with Adetunji Ayode, now a media and tech expert, who rose out of difficult times by means of a sound university education. Jakande Estate is located in Lekki, a part of Lagos with multi-million-dollar construction sites and private business ventures. Amidst this growing metropolis lies a slum. A place the local cashiers, shop attendants, carpenters, construction workers, and those unfortunate enough to be unemployed call home.
I want to run a business. I told you I told you initially I was planning to leave the country.
Go to where?
To Dubai now.
Uh-huh.
So after my SS3, I cannot go to school. My parents cannot afford sending me to school, so I follow some of my friends.
Louis Ukim is a serial entrepreneur. He moved to Lagos in 2013 to make his dreams come true. He got 2 jobs, one as a security guard earning 12,000 a month and the other as a cleaner earning 18,000 a month. For over 3 years, he saved up to 400,000 naira. Then he and a friend both put together 400,000 naira to launch their first business. It was a real estate venture which rented out shanties to brothel owners.
Every room they pay 1,000
for use. The person wants to use it.
Yes. They will have girls already inside.
Okay, girls already.
The rooms have been occupied with girls.
So it's 1,000 per day?
Per day.
And you have like how many of those?
We have like 6 rooms. Then we keep 1 room for part time. For short time. They call it short time.
For short time.
Yeah.
Short time.
For fast activities. Let's say that one is like 30 minutes. After using it for 30 minutes, you pay 500 and another person will take over. were able to make money, but the problem was too much inside the business because we pay security fee, we pay morale fee, we pay police money inside. As in
that's 3. You counted 3 now.
Yes, then we now pay. They call it that monthly dues. That one is 7,000. At the end of the month, you now pay 7,000. After you must have paid environmental fee.
You see what's happening here? That's the perpetual circle of poverty.
Right.
So, did you stop the business or
No, we stopped the business because some of our church members, someone told them, look at what we are doing, and they were not happy with us. That why should we go into such business?
So you went to church?
Yes, I went to read.
How often do you go to church?
Then I go every day.
How did you feel that you went to church and then you come home and this is your business?
I didn't. I see it as something because I know it's bad, but there's nothing I can do.
Right.
Because me, I'm going to church. They are not asking me what are you doing.
Oh.
If they should ask me what are you doing, maybe they're okay. Look at somebody and told them. Somebody told them this is what we are doing. The 2 of us, we go to that church. The 2 of us, we go to that church. One of our members, I don't know who told her. She comes, she try and see me, say, okay, look, this is what they told her. Say yes, but those people you're sending inside the church, you don't know what they are doing. I mean, it's not because I'm running that kind of business. I should not go to church. And what I was doing is not. I don't know if it was bad or not, but I know I was doing a business.
Yeah.
I just needed to survive.
The question now is, so because of the church, you stopped this?
Yes, because of when the lady came, she talked to me that we should stop.
So did they give you a new job in the church?
They didn't even give me a job. And
they asked you to stop a job?
Yes, I stopped. I'm not even going to the church.
But why did you stop then?
I have to stop because she gave me so many reasons to stop.
Conviction?
Yes, she gave me so many reasons to stop. So when I checked, she was telling me the truth. So I have to stop.
Did you lose a lot of money from it?
Yes.
From stopping? So what was life?
I sold it. We sold the place. We built that place 800,000. We sold it. When we not sell it, we sold it 400,000.
Soon he took his remaining 400,000 naira and started an Okada taxi business. But that failed too.
So they were not even delivering what, because what we agreed was every week they will be paying me 10,000. At the end of the week, they will tell me police arrest us, like this. They will be giving me stories. That is how I managed to lose everything.
So the Okada is gone now?
No Okada, nothing.
Today, Louis is unemployed, recently losing his job at ice cream factory.
I was working at ice cream factory as a cashier.
Okay.
So when it got December, I said I want to travel. They said I should not travel. That they don't travel if you're working with them. You cannot travel. And me, I needed to travel. So I have to travel. I resigned without telling them.
And the next thing you came back now.
I know when I came back, I didn't even go there because I know they will not take me. Yes.
Okay, so give us a room tour. Have you seen MTV Cribs?
Yeah.
So this is your bed?
Yeah, this is yours.
And then these are your toiletries?
Yeah.
Grooming material?
This is where I cook myself though. This is my gas. I cook here.
It's cheaper to cook with gas?
Yes, it's cheaper to cook with gas.
Okay.
That people cook is too, but I like cooking with gas.
These are your pots and pans?
Yeah, this is my pots. This is my pan.
Your
this is my
knife. Where do you wash your plates?
I wash my plate outside. This is my chop cover. I put my foodstuffs. Yes, this is my gallon where I put my oil, ground oil.
Oil to
ground oil, yes, my cooking oil.
Right next to your bed. Are you not afraid?
No.
As badly as Louis's condition seems, compared to his female counterparts, he's doing quite well for himself. In fact, women suffer the most. It's not traditional for women to live independently as Louis is. In fact, in some regions, it's seen as a taboo. There are different factors that women living in poverty face. Less money means less security, so women often seek marriage quite young to ensure they are safe. Marriage is then accompanied by kids, a massive liability which propels the perpetual cycle of poverty. I visited some women in the IDP camp with their children, which houses survivors of Boko Haram.
I'm from Chibok. Boko Haram is pursuing us. They burn our house, kill our brothers, pack our school gates. My family say 3 they pack them inside.
For our village, in the night we don't sleep. If you are eating, they'll say they have come, oh, they have come. Oh. We started to run.
As they pack our guests around 4 o'clock in the night, now we can run, go to bush.
That time I was carrying, I'm pregnant of this boy. So I carried the other one, put for my back, hold the other one. Then one of my neighbors helped me to carry another one. We were running inside the bush.
Go stay for bush 2 weeks. We go stay there. We no get food. Now beans way there for bush. We dey pack them, they chop. One our brother go house go carry pot for us. We dey come pack and they cook them. He go fetch water come give us 2 weeks. My boy sick for the bush. The medicine why I go give her no day. We suffer 2 weeks.
Me, I be widow now. My husband know that I alive.
I have 5 kids. So because of the bad environment here, my sister, they come here to come and collect the children from me because no food to eat, no good water to drink.
This life self has tired me, the life that we are living.
Please, I need help. I want to go back to Ikoyi and I need a shop.
The symptoms get worse as poverty limits resources, which means a lack of access to sanitary products, which in turn spreads diseases. Back in Jakande, we met Miriam, aka Mama Zainab. She has 5 children and earns 500,000 naira a day selling cereal pudding.
Profiting?
No, maybe ni si toja ba wa. Ó yẹ kí n ti ta tán ká noja wa ni. Màá ti rí gain tèmi. Bí 500 àbí 700 but ìgbà tó ti sọ́jà so òun sì kú lórí mi ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń lọ báwọn customer mi báyìí. Easy wà ṣùgbọ́n ó kàn mí kí n ṣe iṣẹ́ fún ara mi ni kì í ṣe pé nítorí mi náà ọmọ tí mò ń bọ̀ so kí bá lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ń ta kò lè pè mí ju èyí tí mò ń ṣe fún ara mi lọ so nítorí ẹ̀.
Ọkọ yín ńkọ́?
Ọkọ mi wà. Ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ kápítà ni so ìgbà míì iṣẹ́ máa wà ìgbà míì kò ní ṣiṣẹ́ mo fi yẹ fi ẹ̀pù ẹ̀ náà ni.
500 yẹn náà lè máa fi ra nǹkan fún àwọn ọmọ oúnjẹ máa fi sóúnjẹ.
Èyí tọkọ mi bá náà múlẹ̀ àjọ so mọ́ra wọn àjọ ṣe mọ́ra wọn àfọwọ́rọwọ́.
She offers to take us to her home, and so we walk through the entangled pathways of the slums, through many shanty homes and piles of trash to get to her home. But on our way, we meet some of the local boys. There is a simple rule in Lagos for every photo and video journalist. Don't walk anywhere with a camera unless you're ready to settle the boys.
Wait, never on them. In one condition, 20,000.
Finish. Yes.
Guys, finish. In one condition, 20,000.
There's always a ringleader who takes the bulk of the money and settles his boys with small portions. How do you know who to pay? The loudest and most aggressive.
The parent didn't have something to donate to operation. Okay.
We finally come to an agreement, 5,000 naira. And so we continued on to Miriam's house, but not before they got their 5 seconds of fame.
During the rainy season, you can hardly walk here. That's why this elevated platform, this elevated wood is here. It's to help during the rain. The water rises some centimeters high and makes walking around very difficult. Very difficult. All right, now this is Mama Asia's, Mama Zainab's house. Can we call this a house, yeah? And this is where I spoke with her husband some moments back, and you could see that the revenue they generate is quite so low. We talked to her, and she's the lady that earns just 500 naira for a whole day's work after walking several kilometers, sometimes up to 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, hawking cereal pudding. The 500 naira is about $1.50, 1.5, yeah. And that, together with anything a husband could find from the carpentry work he's doing, is what they use to make a living. In the same country where some politicians have 51 houses, have forex accounts spanning over millions of dollars. It's the same country where the governor, a certain governor, is taking a bribery in dollars. In this same country, there's a lot of money here. Nigeria being the world's #1 headquarter for poverty, yet there's enough money in the country to go around. And in the same country where there are such very rich people, we have such very poor people living in this.
The irony is that these people living in this perpetual cycle of poverty, the people that need the most help, don't go out and vote. Well, this could be because of a lack of education or the fact that the voting process is tedious, time-consuming, and quite outdated. Now, these people are more focused on figuring out how to eat than figuring out how to vote. So here's the issue. The only way to change the power dynamics, the only way to create an even distribution of wealth in this country is to come out on February 16 and vote.
In the next episode, we'll analyze the presidential candidates, investigate corruption in APC and PDP, and explore how to avoid a rigged election this time around.